You know the feeling? It is 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. You are tired. You are, scrolling. And then you see it. The gadget, the shoes, the supplement that promises to fix your entire life in 30 days. I mean, it is only $50, right? You press the button just like that. 2 days later, the box arrives. You get that little rush, that hit of dopamine as you slice the tape open. But then, maybe 20 minutes later, the feeling is gone, and you are just left with stuff and a slightly lower bank balance. Most people think this is a discipline problem. You tell yourself, I just need more willpower, or, I'm just bad with money. But the brutal reality is that you are not losing a battle against yourself. You're like losing a war against a trillion-dollar algorithmic army that has weaponized your own biology against you. They have hacked your dopamine receptors to make sure you stay poor. I am Heisenbank, and on this channel, we break down the financial systems designed to keep you broke. In this video, I'm going to show you the 24-hour rule. But before we get to the solution, I have to show you the damage. We're going to do the brutal math on your little treats, and I'm going to prove mathematically that your impulse control is costing you a literal fortune. So let's get into the psychology first. Why do we buy things we do not need with money we do not have to, impress people we don't even like? It starts in the nucleus accumbens. That's the part of your brain responsible for reward processing. See, thousands of years ago, if you saw a berry bush, your brain released dopamine to say, hey, eat that. It might not be here tomorrow. It was a survival mechanism. Scarcity was real. But today, scarcity is fake. I mean, it's manufactured. When you see a flash sale countdown timer, or a notification that says only 3 left in stock, your lizard brain panics. It thinks you are about to starve to death. But instead of food, you are starving for, a new pair of noise-canceling headphones? Here's the kicker. Neuroscientists have found that the dopamine hit doesn't come from having the thing. It comes from buying the thing. The anticipation is the drug. The purchase is the crash. You are not buying the product, you are paying a tax, a dopamine tax, just to feel something for 5 minutes. Now, let's look at the numbers, because this is where feelings go to die. We all use the word just. It is just a coffee. It is just a subscription. It is just $20. Let's run a scenario. Let's say you have a just habit. Maybe it's grabbing lunch out. Maybe it's those random Amazon purchases. Maybe it's like in-game currency for that mobile game you play. Let's say it averages out to $20 a day. So, $20 a day times 30 days is $600 a month. Whew, okay, that stings a little, but it is manageable, right? Wrong. You are forgetting the most powerful force in the universe. Compound interest. If you took that $600 a month and instead of buying stuff, you invested it in the S&P 500, getting an average return of, let's be conservative, say 8%. In 10 years, that is not just $72,000 of principal. With the magic of compound interest, it grows to over $109,000. $100,000. That is a down payment on a house. That is a luxury car paid in cash. That is freedom. And you traded it for, what? Cold sandwiches and plastic gadgets that are currently sitting in a landfill? Every time you spend $20 unnecessarily, you are not spending $20. You are robbing your future self of thousands. It has never been easier to lose money. And that is by design. Back in the day, if you wanted to buy something, you had to physically count out cash. You had to hand it over, and psychologically, that hurt. It is called the pain of paying. When you hand over cash, the insula in your brain lights up. That is the same area that processes physical pain. Literally, spending money used to hurt physically. But now, companies have removed the friction. One-click ordering, Face ID payments, saved credit cards. They have anesthetized the pain. You don't feel the money leaving, you just feel the product arriving. It's like performing surgery on your bank account without using anesthesia on the patient. Wait, no, it's like bleeding out without feeling the cut. That's better. This device is a slot machine, and every time you swipe, you are pulling the lever. Have you ever heard of the Diderot effect? No? Well, listen up. Denis Diderot was a French philosopher. He was broke. Then he came into some money and bought a beautiful scarlet robe. But then he noticed something. The robe was so beautiful that the rest of his stuff looked like garbage in comparison. So he replaced his rug to match the robe. Then he replaced his chair to match the rug. Then the mirror. Soon, he was broke again. This happens to you every day. You buy the new iPhone. Great, but now your old headphones don't work with it, so you buy the AirPods, but now you need the MagSafe charger and the new case. One purchase births another purchase. It's a reproductive cycle of consumption. You're not just buying one thing, you're signing a contract for a chain reaction of spending. Listen to me closely. The system relies on your ignorance. The banks, the credit card companies, the retailers, they are betting on you staying asleep. They're betting on your lack of impulse control. If you want to wake up, if you want to, stop letting these institutions profit of your psychological weaknesses, then make sure to subscribe. We are building an army here. Don't get left behind. Okay, enough doom and gloom. How do we fix this? How do we hack the system back? I want you to implement the 24-hour rule. It is stupidly simple, but it is effective because it reintroduces the one thing Amazon spent billions trying to remove: friction. Here is the rule. If you want to buy something non-essential, something that is a want and not a need, you are allowed to put it in your cart. Go ahead, pick out the color, put it in the cart, but you are not allowed to check out. You must wait exactly 24 hours. Here's what happens during those 24 hours. The dopamine rush wears off. The prefrontal cortex, that is the logical adult part of your brain, finally wakes up and takes the wheel back from the lizard brain. You will wake up the next day, look at the cart, and 90% of the time you will say, "Why did I want that? That is stupid." And you will hit delete. If the item is over $100, you upgrade this to the 72-hour rule. Give yourself 3 days. If you still want it just as badly after 3 days and you have the cash, fine, buy it. But usually the urge will die. There is one more trick I use. It is called the hourly wage translation. Stop looking at prices in dollars. Start looking at prices in hours of your life. Let's say you make $20 an hour after tax, and you want to buy those new sneakers for $200. Do not ask yourself, do I have $200? Ask yourself, is this pair of shoes worth 10 hours of sitting in that cubicle I hate, listening to my boss drone on about synergy? Usually the answer is a hard no. When you start pricing things in life equity, spending becomes a lot less fun. And that is the point. We live in a world that shouts at you to consume. It tells you that you are not enough unless you buy the upgrade. It tells you that happiness is just one delivery away. But the math proves otherwise. The math shows that every dollar you waste on impulses is a soldier you could have deployed to fight for your freedom. Real wealth isn't about the ability to buy more. It is about the ability to need less. Next time you feel that itch, that urge to click buy now, just remember the tax, remember the algorithm, and close the tab. I'm Heisenbank. Class dismissed.